Every new year is an opportunity, but with every opportunity, there comes a risk. You're going to have to risk something, and that means that you're going to have to take a chance. When you take a chance, you don't know where you're at. You feel doubtful, uncertain, insecure. What's the first step? So today, I thought I'd jump into what this means for me in my life as I set out to get these 12 songs into the world. Let's go. The easiest thing before any great undertaking is to feel paralyzed before it. How the hell do you make that first step? So for me, the most important thing is to clarify my mind, to get back to that most essential thought and to break it down to the most tiny, tiny little pieces. But that takes a certain type of mentality. You arrive in the rehearsal room, you are ready to go, and you're like, you freeze. The reality dawns upon you. You are going to have to do it yourself. There is no one coming to save you. At the last, that is the reality, the foundation, the starting point of our lives, of our projects, of what we're going to do. So then the question becomes, are we going to do it? Are we going to recognize that reality? Are we going to step into that as that being our unique challenge? And I realized it when I came in today. It was like, damn, you come in, it's just a silence. It's just you before the gods. So much easier to dream it than to actually do it. Today, as I set out trying to make the first step, I'm trying to keep this idea first and foremost. How can I break it down to its simplest, basic components? I cannot fight it. I'm at that point of total humility and humbleness before the world. Okay, how are we going to do this? I'm getting the song ready. The first song is called Vampires. The half the battle in life is to see the damn thing clearly. If you're unsure, you're uncertain, day by day, just return back to this idea of trying to clarify. And at that point, you need to get the resistance out of the way, damn well make that first step. Prince, they will know I'm not dead. And I've signed up to DistroKid, which is one of the platforms that you use to upload the stuff, figuring it out, getting my head around it, and then I'm like, okay, we're gonna need some artwork, baby. So I'm looking into artwork. Yes, it is true. You are the record label. You are the promotion. You are the art designer. You are the writer. You are the uploader. You have to learn the things. This is the reality. That is what self-reliance is. So I'm just working in Canva on some vibes, some ideas for the single cover. Nothing I'm doing is going to set the world on fire in terms of doing an album cover, but I'm inside the song. I've got a vibe. So I'm going to show you. If you think it looks awful, drop me a comment, tell me, save me from myself. So I've got this one here, quite vampire-y, right? Vampire-y. Down here featuring Dean is Home, my boy Dean. And I guess one of the things I'm thinking about is creating iconography for the album release. I don't want to rush it off, but equally, I don't want to get obsessed with the details in this. For me, it's about the music, it's about the artistic journey, it's about the communication with you guys. That's what's exciting me. Want to keep focused on that, but also want to put love into each phase. But sometimes you've got to get started. Like, you want it to be perfect. You just got to rough it out to start with. Get going, get some movement in, make it better next time. Done is better than perfect, right? Is it? I don't know when it comes to the art. I cannot fight it. I wanna feel what money brings. They will know I'm not dead. Everything we do, there are all these steps that we have to learn. When we're in that moment of stuckness or uncertainty, very easy for this voice to come out from within us. You want help. You want someone to come and do it for you. But the reality is you've got to find that self-reliance. Oh, yes. even rely on that. You also then have to focus your mind and channel that fire into the smallest steps. One of the reasons that I was feeling resistance before today is that I feel very lucky. I've been on some really cool labels. I was on EMI, I was on a major label. I've had a bit of the machine behind me at times in my musical life, and hasn't been really since I put my life in a van and came over to Berlin. I was a wild rock and roller back in 2007. That I've been in that 100%, you're just doing it all yourself, you're figuring it out, everything step by step. The resistance I had was that you always have that part of you that wants the help, wants the support, wants the knowledge, doesn't want to have to learn every damn thing yourself. But then when you start putting your mind into it, new things open up. The thing that I'm enjoying that I didn't expect was I'm feeling this sense of tactility to you guys who are supporting me, this small community. It feels like it's a band of friends who are just a few of you that have been following along so far. And it's like by doing it myself, I feel closer to you guys. And it makes me feel like, man, every single barrier between me and the communication of the song's essence, it's like it comes right from here and straight over to you guys. This sense of paralysis that we feel at the point of setting out, it's not because we don't know what we need to do. It's because always we're looking at the whole, we're looking at the vastness, we're looking at the trajectory of where we need to go. And it becomes too big for us. And so the result of that is that you shut down like a rabbit caught in headlights. Well, myself, in fact. And the truth of it is that this sense of paralysis happens at different points in a project. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting out or whether, like me, you're at the point where you've completed one major phase and you don't quite know how to go in the next. So it's being within that limbo itself that creates that sense that you are feeling paralyzed and not knowing where to go and which action to make. And this is how I feel at the start of the year, because when you do something new, you are about to set out on a quest. This is your quest. You're like, man, where is it going to take me? I have no idea. Am I up to it? Can I live up to this sense of a version of myself that I have an inkling of inside? Can I raise up the talent inside myself? Can I go through every step with the diligence and the heart and the fortitude and the hope to raise my game so that I might live up to this vision of what I have inside myself? That's the nature of a quest, that it's vast and it's unknown and it's a little bit terrifying. Rilke wrote these words, which I found very helpful about the state where I found myself, which is, it is only through life's wounds that creation can emerge. But the fear of exposure keeps many from taking the step. When you write something, or when you set out on any type of dream that you have, you're exposing a wound because it's something vulnerable. What happens if you fail? If you're putting out a song or an album, what happens if no one listens to it or likes it? So it's the fear of putting yourself into that public realm, that sense that on some level it's a battlefield that can be very difficult and which gives rise to this fear. But that's a tremendous shame, because the one thing that you can guarantee is that you will remain stuck if you don't get your work out. Because the thing about any wound is that it needs to be aired in order to heal. So therefore, with that wound that Rilke's talking about, that fear, you have to release it. You know, fear wears many faces, and this wound, this worry of putting something out, is that you're worried that the wound itself will be further wounded through the act of putting out into the world. Because when you write something, you're exposing yourself, you're being vulnerable, you're giving your heart over to something, and you're exploring perhaps some type of wound. And when you put it into the world, you have that fear that the wound itself is going to be further wounded. So after you've written something, that's where you feel stuck, because you're unsure if you want to put it out into the world. And that can be very incapacitating. The thing is that wounds need air. You have to put the wound out in order for it to be healed. It's through the process of the release that the potential to new vitality, to experience that zeal of rebirth and transcendence and touching that potential self that is within you has the chance to emerge, to rise up, to rise out, and to form its way out through the cracks and to reveal itself and yourself, that aspect of yourself that you only sensed, that you saw as a shadow inside yourself. Can you let it out through the cracks so that it can become you? So today has been about what is the work? What is the one thing that I can do to put things forward? You have to listen to what life is asking of you. That's the hard thing sometimes. And hand in hand with that, I've realized that I need to take risks. Now, dreaming the dream, that's not the hard part. The hard part is listening to what life is asking of you in the pursuit of bringing that dream, turning it, transforming it into reality. And that's going to take on some level the transcendence of yourself, of where you are now. You're going to have to contact a different part of the mystery of your potential being and where you can go. And that's a wonderful journey, but it ain't easy. It's not meant to be easy. You have to risk yourself. If you're going to put yourself into the world, you have to take a risk. But the only way you can take a risk is by clarifying what the work is, breaking it down. When I'm in doubt, or I'm really looking into the darkness, I try to start here. That's what I'm trying to do today. Pure humility before the path, making it childishly clear. You can see the primary purpose, but then you need to see what's the one thing towards the fact that this is what needs to be done. There is no two ways about it. You can resist it, but you know that's the path. To start walking into it, you're going to have to take a chance.